It's a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Sports Now.
It's a beautiful Monday for baseball in Atlanta. A business fan special as the Braves wrap up a long homestand today with the San Diego Padres. All season long, Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. With the win today, the Braves could take 3 out of 4 from our friends from San Diego. And then we hit the road. L.A., San Diego, and Seattle, the next road trip for the Braves starting tomorrow. Hi again, friends, along with Joe Simpson, Chip Carey. Welcome back to the ballpark. A big third inning for the Braves propelled them to victory yesterday, and a chance, Joe, for the Braves to win the series outright against San Diego and wrap up what is potentially a 6-5 homestand.
That's a whole lot better than 5-6, yes. And it would kind of ease the pain of losing 3 out of 4 to the Marlins if they can pull it off today. They've got some pretty decent numbers and some individuals who have played well too during the homestand, despite just 5 wins, and good pitching all around. Tommy La Stella, you see down there at 270. He played so well, he's not going to play today. He's earned a day off. But there are some other guys that have played well for sure. And Jason Hayward's hitting 333 on the homestand. Chris Johnson's driven in 10 runs in those 10 games. So it's been a real cumulative effort from everybody to get the 5 wins. 6 would be better. Hopefully that'll happen today.
In many ways, it's been a strange homestand. The game will be pitched in a strange way by the San Diego Padres. A former outfielder, Jason Lane, is going to start his first major league game today. Getting loose, aren't you?
Yeah. Kind of got me fired up there.
If it gets to that, we're in big trouble. There you see Phil Gosselin. He's getting a start for Atlanta today. Irvin Santana will pitch for the Braves, and Jen Hillworth will have more on what the players think of this final game of the homestand when we come right back.
TNT Uverse, Delta Airlines, and Ford.
will the Braves have a winning record on this homestand? It all comes down to today as they look for the series win against the Padres. Hey everybody, I'm Jen Hildreth here at Turner Field for one last game before the Braves hit the road for the West Coast. And talking to the players today, yeah, this is a big game. They want to finish this homestand on a good note. And one player in particular who's looking for some good things to happen today is Braves rookie Phil Gosselin. He's had a couple of pinch hit appearances since being called up on Saturday, but today gets to make his first major league start.
Yeah, I figured I might be in there just because, you know, day game after night game and that kind of thing. So I came here prepared to start.
Excited about the opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. Want to get out there and get a few at-bats and all that kind of stuff, help the team win any way I can.
Nice to get a couple at-bats rather than having to just come in, pinch hit, and get one.
Yeah, it's been good to get one the last couple of days. You know, last night's at-bat was pretty good, so hopefully I can build off that going into today.
Phil was leading the Gwinnett Braves with a .344 average. He takes over for Tommy La Stella, who is really settling in at that second spot. Tommy had gone 4 for 6 batting second the last couple of games, and Tommy and Phil were heading off to watch video of the pitcher making his first start today, Jason Lane, for the Padres when I left the clubhouse this morning. So we'll see if that pays off. It's getaway day for the Braves, but before they get away to LA, they'd like to get a series win against the Padres. Take a lunch break with the Braves and hang out. Chip and Joe will be back after the break.
Rare wraparound series between the Braves and the San Diego Padres. Fourth and final game of the set before we head west and face the Dodgers tomorrow night. We had very warm temperatures at the ballpark yesterday, 94 degrees at first pitch. We might be pushing the thermometer that high again today. There is a breeze blowing from left to right. That will keep the folks in the outfield cool, and hopefully those along the first base line as well. Interesting pitching matchup tonight. Urban Santana and Jason Lane are the opposing starters. We'll talk about Jason Lane when he takes the hill in the bottom of the first inning. Meanwhile, for the Padres, hitting an anemic .219 for the year, they get a big name back in their lineup. Jed Jerko's back. He missed 44 games with plantar fasciitis in his left foot. This guy hit 23 home runs for San Diego last year. And Joe, anytime you get a guy like that with that much talent and under contract for as long as he is back in your lineup, that is a welcome sight for your club.
Yeah, they needed him back. They've been just trying to fill the gaps with Cabrera out with an injury, Jerko out with an injury, and then of course the trade of Chase Headley. On the mound for the Braves today, Urban Santana, his 20th start. He's 9-6, a .387 ERA. He'll try to join Julio Teheran in the double-digit win column. His first half, 17 starts. A lot of those wins came in the first 4 or 5 times he went out for the Braves. And the second half, he has returned to form with a 2-0 record. In fact, he's even beyond that. He's won 4 of his last 5 starts with a 3.15 ERA over that stretch. His 4 keys to pitching success today, not just the fact that he's got his red glove working today, but the fact that he's back to the future. He's back to what he was doing early in the year and getting better tilt on that slider to left-handers. And as Chip just pointed out, it's going to be a very hot, muggy day. Quick innings will be in the fold today for both teams if they can, if the pitchers can cooperate.
So hopefully Santana can get some quick resolution to the at-bats, and hopefully his defense will be sterling behind him. Different look for Atlanta today. Jordan Schaefer gives B.J. Upton a day off. Jason Hayward's back after an off day yesterday. And Phil Gosselin gets a start at second base. Tommy La Stella's been in there virtually every day since he was called up from the minor league. So Gosselin gets a start in game 4. Sure to be an exciting moment for Phil.
As we've been saying, he's earned his call up. He was hitting a ton for Gwinnett. A 344 average. Be nice to get 4 at bats today and feel a little more comfortable.
So Irvin Santana with one last-minute pep talk for himself. He'll climb to the top of the hill and face Alexi Amarista, the shortstop. Both these clubs will make their way to the airport after the game and head west. The Padres home for the Cardinals and Braves. We'll head to Los Angeles. Underway. $86. I want that thermometer.
Yeah, me too.
It's a lot warmer than that. Maybe that stiff breeze blowing from left to right, cooling things off. Amarista skies one towards center. First chance of the day for Jordan Schaefer. He has no trouble with it. Amarista's retired for out number 1.
And Irvin was working swiftly, almost mind-boggling fast compared to what we've seen in this series with the Padres.
Here's Yangervis Solarte. I've been impressed with this guy, especially at the plate.
Yeah, I like his swing. Hasn't had too many chances defensively.
Jerko back, Solarte will move from second base and probably play third base the rest of the season for San Diego. That's where he spent most of his time while in the lineup with the Yankees. As Joe mentioned, once San Diego traded Chase Headley to New York, Solarte was the key piece that came back. Looping liner out to short, and Andrelton Simmons with a diving play.
There were some clouds going across the infield, shadows from the clouds going across it. May have made it hard to pick this ball up off the bat right away, but still an excellent play by Andrelton. And again, the play of the day, at least for now.
2 quick outs, and Seth Smith tries to slow the pace for San Diego. On a hot day, he's been their hottest hitter, a .415 mark this July.
Yeah, leads the majors, his average and his on base percentage. .484 on base.
This is only his second start in the series. His splits show that he's a much better hitter against right-handed pitching. The Braves tossing Alex Wood and Mike Minor in this series. Smith's only started 2 games. 1 ball, 1 strike. And popped up. So the benefit of having 2 lefties in your lineup keeps arguably their best hitter out of San Diego's lineup in this series. .11 homers for Smith. That leads their club. He's knocked in 31 runs. And this one hit in the air toward left. Upton on the run, slowing, stopping, and catching.
10 pitches in 3 minutes. Not bad.
Like the pace, it can be done. Major League Baseball. Here come the Braves in the bottom of the first. A chapter meeting for Achilles tendon survivors anonymous.
It must be boot day.
And that little guy's having a good time. We'll see if the Braves can pacify the Padres in game 4 of the set. As Jason Lane takes the hill for San Diego. Here's the Toyota starting 9. Freddie Freeman looks to be getting his stroke back in order before the road trip. 5 for 11 in the series. Mentioned Jordan Schaefer in there for B.J. Upton leading off. Gosselin hitting second. Different look at the top of the order. And certainly, Joe, a different look on the mound for the Padres.
This is going to be fun to watch from Jason Lane, who had a real nice career going offensively. Had 26 home runs one year for Houston and an outstanding offensive year following that before things started kind of going south on him, and went to the mound. Actually converted to pitching on the mound exclusively beginning in 2012, and he started in a independent league, the Sugarland Skeeters, down near Houston. And his 4 keys to pitching success today, Tom Glavine would say he's an athlete, you know, and he throws a lot of cutters.
And the first pitch of the day is rifled to right. 1 pitch and 1 man out. That's Seth Smith in right field. Schaefer's retired. So what do you make of this experiment by the Padres?
Well, I'm just happy for Jason Lane. If he thought he could succeed at pitching and he is in the big leagues making his first big league start, I'd say the experiment is complete for him. He doesn't overpower you. Like I said, he went to the Mariano Rivera School of Cutters, and he's picked up a few other things along the way. It's just going to be very interesting to watch.
This is Phil Gosselin. We talk about it all the time. One of the most oft repeated phrases in baseball: if you're left-handed, you can pitch forever. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that phrase was in mind for a man converting from a position player to become a major league starting pitcher. It has happened before.
Rick Ankiel's a guy who went the other way.
Oh yeah, Babe Ruth certainly comes to mind. Babe Ruth won 85 games before his 25th birthday, and then went on to become the greatest home run hitter in baseball history until Hank Aaron. As Phil Gosselin rips a shot into right field, his first base hit of the year, and Gosselin's aboard with a 1-out single.
Good for Phil. That'll also help him relax. Not his first big league hit. He had a couple last year when he got called up. And not the first appearance for the Padres for Jason Lane. He had a couple of relief appearances for them earlier in the year and went 4 1/3 innings of 1-hit shutout ball, and they sent him back to El Paso. Shouldn't have given up that hit, I guess. and did not walk anybody. Struck out 4. His numbers at El Paso not as glittery. 6-8 with an ERA of 4.67.
Lane, I'm guessing, is occupying the spot in rotation vacated by Andrew Cashner.
Well, Ian Kennedy today too.
Yeah, that's right.
Scratched.
He has a slight oblique problem. As Freeman takes a strike, 1-2 your count. Pitching has not been the problem for the Padres all year. They have a terrific pitching staff. Their team ERA at 3.21.
The one thing I would have a hard time getting out of my head if I were in the lineup for the Braves today is that, remember, this guy isn't mopping up in a game. They've just brought him in from the outfield to pitch a couple of innings. He's actually a pitcher. He's out there to try and win the game.
Did that 6 times for El Paso, so he's got experience going 5 innings at least. Gosselin a short lead at first. The 1-2 pitch coming to Freddie Freeman. It's rolled foul. Now, in the old days, I guess even now, if a position player comes into pitch, it's usually in mop-up duty. The game's a blowout. You don't want to go through your whole staff. Major league hitters hate being retired by other major league hitters on the mound, right?
They do.
Now, does a hitter approach that matchup with Lane in the same mindset?
I think that's what I'm saying, is that you got to get that out of your head, and you got to be a little more. You can't go up there with a grin on your face wondering, well, I wonder how this is going to go. How hard does this guy throw? I mean, it's a game. It's on.
So far, 8 strikes out of the first 11 tosses from Lane. And Freeman, another shot to the outfield. This one to center. That ball pushed toward right center just a touch. But Venables there stayed with it and made the play for the second out.
3 pretty hard hit balls so far. His numbers at El Paso indicate what he's doing right now, and that is that he throws a lot of strikes. 115 innings at El Paso and 145 hits in 115 innings. Not many walks.
But so many things in play here. He's 37. He's been around the block before, but as an offensive player, so this is not a new experience for him. Pitching part is, obviously, but not pitching against or seeing major league hitters, so I would imagine he's not going to be in awe of this experience. But what a cool thing to be able to continue to live the major league dream and start a new career, as it were, at the ripe old age of 37. No balls and a strike for Justin Upton. Justin with 18 homers, 60 RBIs. He's hit safely in 14 of 20 games. His lone hit in the series came in the 7th inning yesterday, and it brought home the final 2 Atlanta runs. The Braves beat the Padres 8-3. Angel Hernandez said that's a strike.
That was just a breaking ball. That wasn't his cutter. I'm not certain, but I think 86 may be the hardest pitch he's thrown.
You're right. Is that enough separation between pitches for Lane, you think?
It's not ideal. 86 to 78 on that last pitch that he tried to kind of run away from Justin. It's not ideal. Just depends on how well he locates it.
That was the message Greg Maddux repeated so often during his now Hall of Fame career and during his speech yesterday at Cooperstown. Greg didn't throw 90 miles an hour, didn't have to.
The only thing about the lack of velocity is what Justin's doing right here. He's hanging out over the plate, daring him to pitch him inside, meanwhile fouling off some borderline pitches away.
Santana got 3 outs in about 3 minutes. This at bats lasted about three minutes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And high and tight.
If this is what we'll see today from Jason Lane, speed wise, pitch wise, he's going to have to get the ball down. He's going to have to try to get a lot of ground balls.
And a swing and a miss. Upton flips the bat away and the helmet too, and the Braves get a hit and nothing else in the bottom of the first inning. Jason Lane has his first strikeout. Good pitch. Good result. We head to the second. For baseball, no score. Weather was a lot nicer in Cooperstown. That's our SunTrust shining moment. The Hall of Famers get a look at the plaque at long last.
And stand alongside it with their families. Bobby Cox's gang. And the threesome. I wonder if those guys had a chance to sit down over the last 3 or 4 days. Other than during the ceremony yesterday. I know they were taken to a lot of different locations for interviews, dinners, all the trimmings that went with it. I'm sure they had a great time.
This is Yasmani Grandal, and he takes a ball. He's the Padres catcher, batting .209 for the year. We're really appreciative of our Fox Sports crew and all their hard work up in Cooperstown. They've given us great sound bites, great interviews, great stories, and some really wonderful behind the scenes footage that no one else has had.
I agree. Gretchen, Tom, Dan Green, the videographer, well done. One-on-ones today with all three guys. Really good stuff.
The shot that got me was watching Greg Maddox's father hang his plaque.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really, really powerful. What a thrill that must have been for Greg's dad, but certainly for the entire Maddox family to see that take place. As Tommy Medica hits, and takes a strike. Cooperstown had better get ready. There'll be more Braves fans coming next year, we hope. John Smoltz is eligible as Medica got hit by that pitch. It clipped him on the way by, and Santana disappointed in that. He'll go to the stretch for the first time.
What it hit. No argument at all from Evan Gattis. Must have just clipped the jersey or something on the way by.
This is Yonder Alonso. Alonso hitting .210, 5 homers, 22 knocked in. Sure, San Diego was hoping that guys like Alonso and Grandal and Jerko would take big offensive steps forward in 2014. That hasn't happened. The Padres team scored about 60 fewer runs and has 100 fewer hits than the next worst offensive team in baseball. That's how anemic their offensive side of things has been this year. Yet they've won 46 games, largely on the strength of their pitching.
Well, it's kind of an epidemic. Everybody's been talking about the lack of offense around baseball and how it permeates every team, some more than others, especially the Padres. But talking to a scout yesterday when I was suggesting something along those lines, he said, well, if you think it's bad up here, you ought to see the minor leagues.
And that's really frightening.
Yeah, he said there's just not that many hitters right now in the minor leagues across the board.
And while we would all like a quick fix, I don't think that's realistic. There really isn't going to be a quick fix to the offensive problem in baseball. There are a zillion reasons or theories as to why it's happened. We were talking with Don Sutton, who made his way back from Cooperstown, and he had an interesting idea of one way to fix it. Limit teams to a 10-man pitching staff. Make your pitchers pitch longer. Instead of having guys, 4 or 5 guys coming out of your pen throwing 95 miles an hour, let a pitcher go through a lineup 4 times.
That would help. And 13-man pitching staffs, and half of them are all throwing 95 or better. Makes it pretty tough. By the way, that was very graceful Gary Lehman-like toss by Freddie Freeman on that foul ball. Left his feet. Full extension, graceful.
On point. Popped up. Who wants this? It'll be Simmons with Gosselin charging in at the last moment too. Andrelton took over and made the play. There's the second out.
Usually the pitcher's the traffic cop there to call somebody's name and get the other guy away, but that was in no man's land. Look how far Andrelton came across to the first base side of the mound. That was a tough call for Irvin to try to pick one of them. But no harm.
And a hearty welcome back for the Padres, Jed Jerko, the pride of West Virginia University. Big year last year, 23 home runs. He knocked in 63 and hit 249. San Diego thought so much of him, they signed him to a 5-year contract after 1 year of service time in the big leagues. And at the time of his signing, his was the 3rd largest contract given out to a player with that little major league service time, the minimum of a year.
It's like maybe they rushed it a little bit at this point.
Jerko played 3rd base in the minor leagues. They moved him to 2nd base when Chase Headley was still here. So I'm sure San Diego will monitor both Jerko and Solarte and see who's a better fit at those 2 spots. They appear to be interchangeable parts defensively.
At the time he went on the disabled list, he was really scuffling too. He was 0 for his last 15. So getting his foot well and a little rest, maybe that'll help get him going again.
Swing and a miss. Santana got Jerko. And he's got 2 strikeouts in the ball game. Jason Hayward leads off for the Braves and a scoreless 2nd next.
This copyrighted television. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
No score early in Atlanta on a hot, sticky, windy day for baseball. We'll be headed to the airport afterward. Our pal Mac Honey busily grilling the burgers and dogs for the trip out to Los Angeles. And as always, we can't wait to see our friends at Delta Airlines. They're proud sponsors of your Atlanta Braves.
Going to California, he may have a few other things in mind. There might be some sushi on board, some roll-ups,
wheatgrass.
Yes. Just about anything with some avocado in it. He's very progressive where that's concerned.
Downstairs for Jason Hayward. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, do you want your avocado sliced and cubed, or would you prefer it in guacamole form?
Well, I just like it. I just like it in some pita bread. Would you mind?
We can take care of that for you. Ground ball to first, and Hayward's retired. Hold the sprouts for mine, Mac, as Hayward's out number 1, and Evan Gattis is coming up. Well, there's that ground ball you were talking about. Lane needing if he's to be successful today.
Yeah, and he made a good pitch on Justin Upton. Got him to chase an off-speed pitch that was out of the zone. Finally got him to swing and miss to end the first.
Evan has a couple of hits in the series, batting .285 for the year.
Pretty good hook.
Oh, 0-2.
Backed it up.
Hammers that ball down the left field line, foul. So I watched Lane make his windup. I've been thinking for the last inning plus, who does he remind me of? And the first name that came to mind was Sterling Hitchcock. Just for the reason his.
Yeah, he's got a little hitch once he gets his leg up. He turns his body a little bit like that.
Fought that off.
Best heater, 87.
Getting loose.
Turns his body, hides the ball well. It looks like he's about to come sidearm, and then he doesn't.
Evan, to me, looks like he is really leaning out over the plate. As you said of Justin Upton, daring Lane to pitch him inside.
Right.
Ooh. Out straight back.
They don't feel like he's got anything that can jam them unless they jam themselves. No stride, high fastball, great cut.
Line to left. Good at bat by Gaddis. That's the second Braves hit of the game. And he's at first for Chris Johnson.
Again, a pitch that if it's down, if it's even bounced, he might chase it, but not when it's up that high out of the zone. Well, not out of the zone, but up that high in the zone, I should say.
Chris Johnson, 8 homers, 46 RBIs, and he sports a .273 batting average.
And 10 of those RBIs have been on this homestand.
And he shoots one the other way nicely. Gaddis will stop at second. 2 on, 1 out.
I may be wrong, and I don't want to make this sound like anything that might later sound like a jinx, but if he continues to pitch this way and above the knees, I don't know that he'll be out there very long. Braves trying to be patient and get a pitch they can handle. I don't think they have to be concerned about getting jammed.
Simmons, a couple of hits in the series as well, and he jumps at the first pitch and drives it toward right. Smith is back with an up ball carried within a couple of steps of the warning track. Gaddis will tag at second, and he'll slide in safely at third base, but now there are 2 outs.
That ball really carried. Evan didn't go back to tag up at first, and then once it was clear that Smith was going to catch it, then he advanced.
So Irvin Santana and Angel Hernandez. Maybe Irvin's asking, hey, where'd that ball hit Medica? After Angel signaled hit by pitch, Santana just, almost a back bend or forward bend in disbelief. He'll try to help himself here with a 2-out hit.
How far he is up in front of the box. He takes any stride at all, he's going to step out of the box.
Almost never see that anymore. Fly ball center field, but it's going to be caught. And that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits. On we go to the third. No score.
Georgia Lottery, Toyota, and AT&T, mobilizing your world.
It's a scoreless game so far between the Braves and the Padres as we head to the third inning. And just in case you were wondering about that fancy red glove that Irvin Santana is sporting, because he hasn't had it all year long, I asked him about it earlier this week. It's not about superstition. It's not about luck. It's because it looks good and matches the home uniform. He showed me it has its own special case, and when he goes on the road, don't expect to see that red. Oh no, Irvin has a nice navy blue one that he thinks looks good with the away uniforms.
It sounds like my twin 14-year-olds. Your glove, Dad, has to match.
Has to match your socks.
Exactly. If only you knew how the game has changed. So the red glove, Jen tells us, is for the home games. The navy blue is for the road games.
All right, then. Whatever works. Good call on the umbrella today. I don't know where they got that 86-degree thing, but it feels even in our booth a lot hotter than that.
As I said, 2 things I want: their thermometer and maybe their scale, if they're using that thermometer.
Chan's got it at 86 too. It's on his Atari computer.
Well, it's a humid day, so as the professor would say, it feels like 93 or 94. I'll bet you Pete Van Wieren took special pride in watching the All-Star festivities. To call so many, well, really all of those Atlanta games pitched and managed by the big 3 who went in.
Yeah, he saw them all.
Yep. I love what you said yesterday. It was so great to hear those familiar voices on the highlights. And there are a lot of them. And Santana's pitching great so far. 3 strikeouts and a good start to his 3rd inning today.
That pitch and the one earlier to Smith, a slider down and in, that was what was missing in those middle games where he was struggling a little bit. He couldn't get that pitch to bite down and into lefties. So now here's a pretty good hitting pitcher.
Jason Lane 0 for 1 this year. As I told you, he pitched 3 1/3 innings of shutout ball against the Pirates earlier this season. Joe said he's got 61 lifetime homers in the big leagues. And look at that. He never saw the ball. Lane made contact and was looking around as if to say, where's it going? And it just dumped over Freddie Freeman's head for a base hit. And look at Santana. And look at Santana looking at Lane.
Looking, where, what? Oh, fair.
I said earlier, it's been a weird homestand. It's a pretty weird sequence there. So Lane's at first and Amarista's in the box.
The funny thing is, when something like that happens, there's like 10 people screaming at you to run. Just run! But you're still trying to find the ball, and you don't know where that's, you don't really hear it. You don't know where it's coming from.
Little pop out to Simmons. Amarista's retired, 2 out. Now, do you hear those people yelling at you when you pop it up? And I'm sure eventually you do, but you make contact, and do you hear that shouting from your first base coach?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It just doesn't compute. It's kind of like that guy that tries to steal second, and you get deep by the shortstop or second baseman, and you're trying to find the ball, and you're taught, find the third base coach. He'll give you the lowdown, but you forget to do that sometimes.
Solarte is the third baseman for the Padres. He lined out to short. Hamilton made a diving catch to his left back in the opening inning. This one hit a long way down the right field line, and it's foul.
I like it. Lane was running on the play in case it was fair. He didn't want to get caught looking again. A little more hard running on this 86-degree day.
Solarte hit his first homer as a Padre in the 3rd inning yesterday. He hit 6 homers with the Yankees. Broken bat roller foul at first.
That was a good fastball. Noticed yesterday when he was batting right-handed that Solarte, even though Mike Minor might have been trying to run a cutter in on him or a fastball in on him, he was still hacking at anything even in off the plate. He pulled some balls foul right-handed down the third base line.
Nasty breaking ball. He does have the bite on that slider again, and Irvin Santana has 4 strikeouts through 3 innings. Top of the order coming up for the Braves. We're still looking for the game's first run. every day. Joe Simpson, Jen Hildreth, Chip Carey with you. We hit the road. Big 3-city trip to Los Angeles, San Diego, and then Seattle, and then we get back. Got a tough homestand with Washington, the Dodgers, and Oakland. While the Dodgers are here, Tuesday, August 12th, Weezer will perform a post-game concert. You can get the Weezer concert combo pack. That includes an outfield seat, a Weezer concert t-shirt, and a field pass to watch the concert from the field for just $40. Go to Braves.com for more information.
We were talking to Don Sutton earlier. I think I'll have a chat with him about that promo that I was thinking about.
Ah, that's right. That's right.
He was gone. We were talking about it before. Just put a picture, a likeness of Don on the shirt and change that W to a G.
Well, on the promo, they'll have Justin Upton and Freddie Freeman all wearing the horn-rimmed glasses. Maybe we can Photoshop that for the next time we read the promo during today's game. But we don't want to make Jim Powell or Grandma Giffen mad, so we might have to put them on too.
I don't put them in that category, though.
As that category?
Yes.
Now that Don's back, I forgot exactly, Joe, what category that was. You want to tell the audience?
No, just change the W to a G on the shirt.
Right. Schaefer lined out his first time up and bounces one foul at third. Well, there are some who have always felt that Don facially resembles Bobby Vinton, so you know he's a big music fan. I'm sure he'll be front and center for the big show on the 12th.
She wore blue velvet.
One ball, two strikes. Couple of things in play for Jordan Schaefer. Rare start for him because BJ's done good work at the top of the order. And secondly, a chance for him to get some chops against a left-handed pitcher. Doesn't often happen for Schaefer. And he strikes out. Lane has another one of those. That's his second in the game. The Braves begin their second time through the lineup with no contact. One out. Here's Gosselin.
If you're impatient with this guy and you go up there trying to jump on him the first pitch, you're going to pay a price because he's just not throwing that hard, and you might eventually get a good pitch to hit that's up in the zone if you wait him out.
Gosselin, as you mentioned, was having a great year at AAA. 130 hits, average in the 340s. He singled in the first for his first Braves hit this season. He had a couple last year. Those came in a game against Washington.
I wish there was some way, some calculated way, like a stopwatch type.
To first, and another hot shot off a Padres first baseman. Yonder Alonso couldn't handle that one. He and Grandal will have something to talk about on their way back to San Diego after the game. That's an error.
It looked like a bad hop error. No, just a flat out miss and off the knee. But I was about to say something that you could actually quantify. 86 miles an hour, exactly the point it leaves his hand, exactly the point it hits the catcher's glove, or even better yet, when it crosses the front of home plate. Versus 96.
And I don't know the answer to when they take a radar gun reading. As Freddie hits one to left, That's going to be caught for the second out. At what point is the ball's velocity measured?
That's a good question.
Right when it comes out of the pitch. I mean, gravity and distance are going to take away velocity at point of contact. That's your physics lesson for the day.
Yeah, I'd want to know, if I'm a scout, I'd want to know how fast it is at the point it gets to the plate. Because I'm not hitting it right out of his hand.
Exactly.
But still, maybe there is a way just to give fans an idea, and me too for that matter, how much time a hitter has to read the pitch out of the hand, decide if he's going to swing, and make contact between 86 miles an hour and 96. Chan, will you get on that?
Well, our friends at Georgia Tech are about 3 miles up the road. Somebody over there, I'm sure, can figure that out for us.
60 feet 6 inches.
Right. Think of all those factors that come into play of a pitcher actually hitting a thrown baseball. What a marvelous computer the human brain is.
Pretty amazing.
Ball strike, velocity, location, then the pitcher's deception, your own mechanical quirks that take place. Popped up, foul ground. Anybody catch up to that? In the seats. Then you factor in the game situation and what you want to accomplish. Point being, runner at second base, nobody out. You want to hit the ball to the right side of the infield at the very least. The pitcher knows that too, and that's factored in. I mean, it's,
you got to be pretty good.
Yeah, that's why they say, right, hitting a round ball with a round bat's the hardest thing to do in sports. If you think of it that way, it's hard to argue. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball toward right. Smith gives ground. That ball's carrying out toward the warning track, but it's caught right at the 390 sign. Upton flies out. Braves get an error and strand Phil Gosselin at first base. Fans from Belgium watching our game today. Big Braves fan Perry Vaughn enjoying the broadcast across the Atlantic Ocean. And hopefully everybody in Cooperstown enjoyed the Hall of Fame proceedings yesterday. We know the skipper, Bobby Cox, did.
I had the time of my life last night at the dinner with Hall of Famers only. And they are so good. I spent half the night talking to Sandy Koufax and Tom Seaver about pitching, and the other half with Johnny Bench and Eddie Murray about hitting. And boy, did I get some earfuls. You know, these guys are great, and they make it very easy on the rookies.
Funny hearing Bobby Cox refer to himself as a rookie.
I love that.
Seth Smith leads off for the Padres. A defensive change, Joe, as the Braves go to the field for the 4th inning. Jason Hayward's out of the game.
He hit that ground ball to first, his only at bat. I didn't notice anything on the run down to first base, but maybe the heat, humidity got to him a little bit. Maybe just not feeling well.
We're trying to find out more on Hayward as soon as we can. The pitch to Smith is a strike. I think Bobby's comment also an interesting quandary if you ever get to the Hall of Fame. You're in a room with 40 of the 60 some odd Hall of Famers. Who do you talk to? Santana strikes out Smith. Who do you pick to talk to? Can't possibly get to everybody there, but man, oh man, what a wonderful opportunity for a baseball fan.
But everybody's got their favorites. You know, everybody had their guys that they really liked or admired, and Sandy Koufax always draws a crowd, I'm sure. But it sounds like maybe Bobby was drawing a crowd too. People wanted to talk to him, and that's great.
Yasmani Grandal is the hitter. He was Santana's first strikeout victim today. He's pumping strike after strike out there, man. He's dealing. Hit 0-2.
Okay, we have something here from efastball.com along the lines of what we were talking about, and taking into consideration 60 feet 6 inches and the pitcher's stride and release point.
Base hit to right by Grandal. 0-2 count.
And the hitter's contact point, which would be out in the front part of the plate. For a fastball in the area of 86 miles an hour, 0.424 seconds. So 4/10 of a second. For something in the range of 96 miles an hour, you go from 0.42 to 0.38. So that may not sound like a lot. 0.38 to 0.42. But if you're hitting, it is.
So from a half a second to a third of a second, just to reduce real round numbers.
Yes, yeah. In a broad general, yeah.
And that's for a man taking a normal stride.
Yes.
Right? hits. We've talked about this before. Take into consideration a man who doesn't have a normal stride and pitches for the Braves, Jordan Walden, who lets go of the ball. Looks like 7-8 feet in front of the rubber.
Don't have a chart for that.
Don't think you will have a chart, but we did have one of the Georgia Tech students earlier this year did the math on that and calculated his fastball's effective velocity is 111 miles an hour. Get after that. A lower body burger for Tommy Medica.
That kind of stuck on him, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Took a while for that to roll out to the mound.
Ooh. It's like he hit it with backspin into his own leg. One ball, 2 strikes. Yanked foul. When you played, guys threw hard. just now got the update on Jason Hayward. I had not known Jason was having back problems.
No, lower back soreness.
A long flight out west. You want to get that taken care of.
Right.
ASAP. Swing and a miss. Medica's down on strikes. Santana's got 6 strikeouts in the game, coming off a 10 strikeout performance against the Marlins.
A lot of sliders, and today he's had good command of it. And it's a hard slider. Go with his fastball that's been topping out at about 94.
Who was the hardest guy, velocity-wise, you faced when you played? As Alonso shoots one into right center field, that's going to get down in front of Schaefer. And good break on the ball at first by Grandal. And San Diego has their first threat of the game. Runners first and third, 2 outs.
I only faced Nolan Ryan once, but Goose Gossage, probably the hardest I remember. Nice piece of hitting there by Alonso on a pitch away from him. Dumped it out there. But there were others. I mean, Jack Morris threw hard, but maybe not as hard as Goose, but he did over the course of 9 innings. He was always throwing hard.
Was that something you guys talked about as hitters? I mean, you knew who threw hard, but was that your main concern, or was, like Maddox has talked about, movement, location, something you discussed more than velocity?
We didn't know how hard anybody was throwing. We didn't have any way of, measuring.
No radar guns.
No.
Right.
So our way of passing along information was, you got to be ready. This guy can bring it. This guy can bring it. So you knew that somebody threw hard. Some of the other guys kind of fit into sinker slider categories, and you knew that that was probably mid 80s to high 80s by today's range, or maybe even 90.
So far, Santana's got Jerko swinging at the invisible ball. Struck out last time, and he's behind 0-2 here. I think that would be a cool video graphic that you're alluding to. A guy that throws 90 versus a guy 95. The distance in time that ball travels. Do like the glowing hockey puck from the NHL coverage years ago. How much more quickly it gets to home plate.
Yeah, if you had some overhead view to show that here's when the 95 got to the plate and the 85 is still back here somewhere.
Right.
That'd be a cool look.
Slow roller. That's tough play. Simmons charges, and a scoop at first by Freddie Freeman to get Judd Jerko. Couple of hits for the Padres. Nothing across in the top of the 4th. Here's who's on deck for your Braves. That's brought to you by Delta. We're still scoreless. yesterday. It was the fateful third against the Padres. Atlanta sent 10 men to the plate, and Joe, they scored 6 times.
They were banging the ball back through the legs of Eric Stoltz. They were hitting him down the lines. Hanging curveballs didn't hurt either. They sent 10 men to the plate, and it was the biggest inning scoring wise at home of the year.
And that was our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. Let's see if the fourth can be productive for Atlanta. Remember, Jason Hayward was scheduled to lead off, but Ryan Domit took over for him. Lower back soreness, the official diagnosis from the Atlanta clubhouse. So Jason Lane, 3 innings. He struck out a couple of men. He scattered 3 hits.
This guy would fit into the category of crafty left-hander. Put a little on, take a little off, get you to chase off the plate. Very Tom Glavine-like. Although Tom was not a crafty lefty, he was getting it up over 90 miles an hour when he wanted to.
And Tom didn't have nearly as many home runs as this guy.
No.
Here's Ryan Domit.
This guy doesn't have a Silver Slugger award, though. I'm covering for you, Glav.
Popped up right side. Long run. Can anybody get there? No. It's on the running track. Get into the seats. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
He had Ryan reaching there, and it's his first at bat against Lane, so he's got to make some quick adjustments.
Just short. Amarista loads up. Domit is out number 1. Here's Evan Gattis. Gattis had the first of 2 consecutive hits for the Braves in the 2nd inning. Chris Johnson followed with 1 to right, but neither Simmons nor Santana could chase Evan home. Hits are even, 3 apiece. Score is even as well. 0-0 against the Padres. First pitch swing, fly ball right. Smith. Easy play, 2 out.
Well, now he's making quick work of everybody after a long 2nd inning in particular, but after a lot of pitches in the 1st and missing upstairs and making a couple of mistakes that he got away with, now all of a sudden they're swinging at his pitches. Lane made an adjustment. See if Chris gets something to ambush. He lures you to sleep inside out, inside out. So then all of a sudden they think maybe they can run a fastball by him inside, and he's ready for it.
Right side foul, even count. All the other National League baseballs later on tonight. We'll make our way west. We'll keep a close eye on the Nationals and Marlins. They open up a series in Miami this evening. If the Braves win today, they'll gain ground on somebody. As far as that particular matchup goes, it'll be Zimmerman and Eovaldi in the opener down at Marlins Park. To short. Arista's got it. And Lane breezes through the home 4th. He'll bat 2nd in the 5th. Still scoreless. More on Jason Hayward.
Yeah, Chip, he was evaluated by the Braves training staff, and they are now listing him as day-to-day with that lower back soreness. So that will certainly be something we'll check on with Freddie Gonzalez when we talk to him after the game.
Yeah. I don't know if that's good news or not. Little pop out to short, broken bat. Look at Simmons, bare hand play on a funny hop. Another highlight-worthy effort from the Braves shortstop.
Well, we've gone 4 innings. It's been a long time.
This is unbelievable.
The long arms helped there on the Zaxby's indescribably good play. The spin on the baseball almost caused it to bounce away from him.
That was awesome.
We get to watch him every day.
Now Jason Lane. Lane with a single behind first, his first time up. I don't think Santana wants that to happen again.
How about this? Through 4 innings, neither pitcher has been to a 3-ball count. And this is only the second 2-ball count that Santana's been to.
Fly ball, right center. Who wants it? Schaefer says he's got it. He calls Dome it off. And Jordan with good range makes the play. And that's the second out. Well, good to see Santana pitching good ball. He's won his last 2 decisions. Gave up 1 run, 6 hits in 7 1/3 against the Marlins. That, though, a very different game. He led 5-0 after 2 innings. He was really able to go into attack mode with big lead. He's been in attack mode today, but no run support yet.
As good as his slider is, and as tough as it is down and in on lefties, it wouldn't matter if he wasn't spotting his fastball, and he's doing that today at 93-94. That's 2 in a row to Amarista. The first one caught Amarista by surprise because it caught the inside corner.
Look at that ball explode. A 9-pitch inning, 7 strikeouts for Santana, and the man that turned in the highlight reel play defensively leads things off at the plate. Andrelton Simmons gets it started for the Braves in the 5th. No score. pitching good ball games as the Braves come up for the bottom of the 5th inning. Great weekend in Cooperstown, New York. Tom Hart anchoring our coverage in upstate New York, and he had a chance to catch up with Greg Maddux too.
Dinner last night was phenomenal. It was just all the Hall of Fame guys. Good steak. They brought in nice wine, and all the BS stories flying around the room was pretty special.
Ought to be a fly on the wall and hear those.
Well, it's like Bobby said, he spent half the time talking to Tom Seaver and Sandy Koufax, and the other half talking to Johnny Bench and Eddie Murray. Not bad.
And speaking of Greg, he's our AT&T U-verse trivia question. He's got a .639 win percentage. It's the best for any Braves starting pitcher with a minimum of 100 starts. Who has the second best winning percentage as a Braves starter?
You know, I'd really like to say Phil Niekro, but Nuxie was out there win or lose. There weren't that many no decisions for him. He pitched so many complete games.
Popped up right side. Room for out number 1.
Let me just real quick here before we start coming up with our guesses. That's twice he's gotten Andrelton. Fly ball to right, pop up now in foul territory. If you go up there swinging from your tail, trying to hit one to downtown, you're done. This guy will eat you up. I don't care if he's an outfielder or what he is. If that's the approach you're going to take against a guy who's throwing off-speed pitches and changing it up, down, in, out, you lose.
Yeah, and Andrelton's lost twice. He's 0 for 2. Yeah, your point about Phil Niekro. 318 major league victories. And to your point about him being out there a lot, he had 3 seasons where he lost 18 games and 2 seasons where he lost 20 games.
He was on some bad clubs too.
No question.
Yeah.
But made 35 to 40 starts almost every year and pitched 275 to 300 plus innings every year.
Complete games.
Complete games for Phil Niekro. 245 in the major leagues, 226 as a Brave.
Yeah, that's so his winning percentage is not going to be as high as you would think it is, despite the fact that he won over 300 games, because he was out there for the duration.
Fly ball well struck to center, but that's playable for Venable. Santana's retired, and there's 2 out. Note the trivia question didn't say Atlanta Brave, it said Braves, correct? So it could be
Warren Spahn.
Johnny Zane. And again, the minimum was 100 starts.
Warren Spahn might be a real good choice.
So we'll ponder that for a bit as Jordan Schaefer hits with 2 quick outs. Lane's retired 7 straight men. By the way, this is the final game of the homestand. The trading deadline's upon us. July 31st will be in Los Angeles. That's the great pitching matchup in that series. Julio Teheran and Clayton Kershaw scheduled to pitch in the final game of the series. And speaking of the Dodgers, apparently some rumors online. Ned Colletti's burning up the phone lines, trying to move one of or 2 of his high-priced outfielders. They've got a real logjam with Kemp, with Crawford, with Puig, with Van Slyke, with Andre Ethier. They're trying to move one of those guys to add more pitching. Schaefer rolls right side. Jerko gives ground, throws to first, a looping throw, but good enough to get Schaefer. How about Jason Lane? The outfielder turned starter has retired 8 straight and has shut out the Braves through 5.
Baseball is presented by Georgia Power, The Home Depot, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
Hall of Fame weekend in Cooperstown. Bobby Cox is the subject of our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
4th all-time in wins among managers. Tony La Russa, Joe Torre surround him, and they also were inducted. Connie Mack, almost 1,000 games ahead of John McGraw. I don't think anybody's going to catch him.
Cornelius McGillicuddy, his given name.
It helps that you own the team for 50 years, so you can manage as long as you want.
Solarte leads off and takes a strike. 1-1. Young fans may not know the name Connie Mack. Look it up. Look at the images of Connie Mack as a major league manager. You'll notice something very different about the way he did his job. A rare fumble, but look at the recovery by Simmons. Even when there's a blip on the radar, he doesn't panic.
He got a little funny hop there too. Came up on him and he took care of it. Off the heel of the glove into the chest and didn't even hit the ground again.
Be careful with Smith. He's their best power hitter. 0 for 2 today.
Love that pitch. Love it on the first pitch too. Had all those hard breaking balls today, and then just a 77-mile-an-hour curveball for a strike. Irvin's been outstanding.
The board shows 68 pitches, only 15 balls. And two ball counts officially.
Yes. Yeah, and was it his first start where he started the game with 20-some straight strikes?
Yeah. I mean, he just carved up the Padres' best hitter.
He carved up baseball's best hitter in the month of July. Highest average, highest on base percentage. Then a hard breaking ball.
8 strikeouts, 6 straight retired for Santana. Now Grandal's the hitter. Padres have 3 hits. Grandal has one of them. It came on an 0-2 pitch.
One of the other things we did, Chip, when you were asking about how we kind of measured, you know, if you're facing a guy throwing hard or a sinker slide or whatever, we would always try to equate him to somebody else. He's like so-and-so. Arm slot's kind of like so-and-so. And you go, okay, if you haven't seen him before or trying to get a feel for velocity or look.
I can't imagine how much harder it had to be to hit back in the days without video, without the scouting reports, without the sophisticated advanced scouting that baseball employs now.
I know that helps a lot. Maybe to go back especially and see how a guy pitched you and remind you of that. But I think it is a better tool, and I wish I had it, a better tool to help you see what you're doing as a hitter.
Rather than the man you're facing.
Yes. If you're having a little problem, you're pulling off the ball or you're whatever, you know, maybe all of a sudden you started wrapping your bat behind your head and you didn't realize it, or you're too closed and you didn't realize it. I think that's where that video is such a huge help.
And that doesn't even get into the old question about the modern player. Is there too much analysis, and is there mental and physical paralysis that results from that?
There might be. I'm sure.
To left. Long run. Upton. The wind might keep that one in play for him. It won't.
I'm sure there are some guys who feel like they can't even go out on the field unless they've had a certain amount of time on the tape machine and doing their due diligence to watch tonight's pitcher. But I still think the best tool is to be able to look at yourself and see what you're doing.
Well, when Irvin Santana goes back and looks at the tape of this performance, He's going to like what he sees an awful lot. He struck out 9 Padres.
What would you guys say?
Through in this scoreless game between the Braves and the Padres, maybe it will be Phil Gosselin, the Braves rookie, got a hit in his first at bat, making his first start today. And one thing that I've been impressed with talking to Phil is that he's not afraid to go to some of the other guys and ask for advice. When he got here on Saturday, knew he could be in pinch hit situations. He said he was going to go talk to Ryan Doman and see if he could get some advice from, you know, guys like that, Ramiro Pena. And then today, before the game, I said, are you going to try to go find some video on Jason Lane? And he said, well, I don't really know how to do it, so I'm going to go with Tommy La Stella and have him show me how.
That's what Rob Smith's for.
Yeah.
Rob's the best video coordinator in the business downstairs in the Braves locker room.
Even the newest guy, even the rawest of rookies can go and say, Rob, I want to see Jason Lane. Pull him up for me, will you please? And I mean, in a click, click, Rob's got it. I'll show you Jason Lane pitching against the Galveston Gulf Warts and all the other independent league teams that the Sugarland Skeeters played.
Sharply hit deep short. And Arista's been busy. Strong arm. Good play. Got him by a step.
Nice play. Strong throw.
Well, who's going to blink first? Lane's retired 9 straight. Santana's retired 7 straight.
Keep in mind, Amarista has been playing shortstop until Everett Cabrera comes back. But that was a nice job there.
Bud Black has to be absolutely ecstatic about what Jason Lane is giving him from the mound today.
He's got to be amused too. I mean, kind of a little smirk on his face. I don't know if you could see it today, but he's got his shades on, but he's definitely got a black eye.
Ground ball first. Nice pickup. Alonso takes care of Freeman. There's out number 2. Jason Lane, 37 years young, making his big league debut as a starting pitcher today. He is not the oldest in big league history to do so.
Old Diomedes Olivio, he really was old. And just a little bit older than Satchel Paige when he finally got to pitch in the big leagues. Love the names. Connie Marrero, Pat Scantlebury. Troy Percival made a start, but he'd always been in the bullpen. That's why you see his name on there. And the one I don't get is Jimmy Fox. Maybe they just needed somebody that day.
And on that list, I mean, you could almost make the case to put an asterisk next to Satchel Paige, because rumor had it no one really knew how old Satchel Paige truly was. They didn't have a birth certificate for Satchel Paige. Great star in the old Negro Leagues for the Kansas City Monarchs and many other clubs. In fact, back in the segregated days of professional baseball in North America, the Negro League players would face off with Major League All-Star teams, and they'd have barnstorming tours, chance to play before big crowds and make a lot of money. As Upton squibs one off Lane's glove. If he let it go, might have turned to gold. It still might, and it didn't. Upton reaches on an infield hit. If Lane lets it go, pretty good chance they get Upton.
It was off the glove and not the foot. And you really know he's a pitcher now, because look at his reaction. He's really mad that he should have let it go.
But Satchel Paige, one of the great colorful characters in professional baseball in America, during one of those barnstorming tours, bases were loaded. 3 big-time All-Stars were coming up. And the rumor had it, as Domet grounds to the mound, called his outfield in, struck out the side on 9 pitches, called the outfield in to stand on the infield. No contact, 9 pitches, 3 outs, inning over. Same story for Lane here. He threw 8, though, to get the Braves in the home 6th. Jason Lane dueling in Atlanta. Time for our Volkswagen pitching performance today.
Irvin's been outstanding, but he's been matched pitch for pitch by Jason Lane, the former outfielder. 9 strikeouts for Irvin, a good mixture of sliders and his good fastball, well located today, keeping them honest, but that slider's been the most devastating. And for Jason Lane, he's recorded 18 outs, 6 on the first pitch, 2 others on the second pitch.
That's almost 3 innings of easy work.
Yeah. On a hot day, that's great. For Lane, he had one pitch out in each of the first 4 innings, so that helps shorten your inning as well, and then 2 in the past inning on the 6th.
Braves are having a tough time with Lane, and they're staring down the barrel of Beckett, Greinke, and Kershaw in Los Angeles starting tomorrow. 2-2 to Medica. Struck him out. Gas, 96 miles an hour.
96 from Irvin. Reach back.
That's number 10.
And 3 in a row. Mercy. Catch up to this. Need to get this guy a run.
One shy of his career high now. And here's Alonso. Angel Hernandez has been in the rocking chair. Strike after strike from Santana. And now Alonso's starting to bark. First time any of the hitters have complained to Angel Hernandez.
One called inside, one called outside, and I'm sure the complaint is he can have one side, but he can't have both. And our Fox Tracks backs up Alonso's claim. But both guys throwing as many strikes as they're throwing, it's hard for anybody to lodge any complaints against Angel today.
Yanked foul. Still 1-2.
Ten strikeouts and only one called third.
It's downstairs, even count. Tim Stoffer's up in the Padres pen. Bottom part of the Braves orders due up in the home seventh.
I don't care if it's Trevor Hoffman.
At this point.
There's the Bud Black eye.
Opposite field hit for Alonso. Upton got to it quickly. He's going to try for 2. Throws on target, and it's going to be in time. What a throw by Justin Upton, and you know Santana appreciates that.
Outstanding play by Justin on his slicer down the line to get over there, keep it from getting all the way to the wall, and get himself in a good position to throw. Boy, what a good throw, and a good job by Gosselin not to turn the other way and have a longer sweep tag coming back. He turned facing right field, and he's in a perfect spot to put the tag on. Great play.
And for Alonso, why not try for 2?
Yeah.
Nothing else has worked. And he missed making it by that much. So he's the second out. Will Venable bats down a strike. Still a scoreless game. Little tapper, tough play. Simmons will try to make it barehanded. He did, but it's late. Look at where Simmons ended up after making that throw. About 10 feet off the third base line and midway between third and the plate. How about that range?
Every other team in baseball, if that happens, that's one that usually the third baseman just kind of goes over and picks up and flips back to the pitcher. Nobody even can get to the ball. That guy thinks he can make them all.
That's right. There's not a play he doesn't think he can make.
Hope he didn't hurt himself.
Venables, the 8th place hitter for the Padres. And he's down a strike. He's been ahead of virtually everyone all day today. If Venable reaches, it'll be interesting to see how Bud Black plays it. You don't have to use a pinch hitter for the pitcher in this spot.
That's a good point.
It's a very valuable weapon. In fact, a couple of years ago, the Padres took a chance on Micah Owens. Remember him? A pitcher who could really hit. He was pitching in relief and got hurt. Brooks Kieschnick, another outfielder who pitched and could swing the bat exceptionally well. But what a wonderful lesson for young players, Joe. Just because you're drafted, or if you're fortunate enough to earn being drafted, if it doesn't work out, you can always try something different. David Carpenter's an example. Chad Mott. These were catchers that weren't going to catch in St. Louis's system. They became pitchers in the major leagues that way.
Those guys all throw hard. They all have exceptional arms, can blaze it. Jason Lane's not that category. I mean, he's 37 years old, so his arm's seen its better days. But boy, has he done a good job today of changing speeds and moving it around.
Swing and a miss. Venable is down, and Santana has evened his career high with strikeout number 11. He got some more defensive help, this time from Justin Upton. His great throw cut down Alonso and sends us to the stretch, scoreless. AT&T will be gone for a while, not back in Atlanta until August the 8th. That's when the Nationals are in town. A big weekend series between the Braves and the first place Nats. On Friday, the Braves alumni roll call will take place on the field before the game. There'll be great chances for all you fans to get autographs from your favorite Braves. And then join us early on Saturday for the pregame Legends versus Legends softball game. For tickets, go to Braves.com/tickets today. Phil Niekro, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Sid Bream, Mark Wohlers, and many others are scheduled to attend.
I know it's your favorite weekend of the year.
Yep.
Always great to see the guys come back, talk to some of them, have them come up from Oklahoma. Woohoo! Hopefully it's a winner. Got to get a run though. Urban Santana's done his part. And I owe Jason Lane an apology. I said earlier, maybe I jinxed it. I said I didn't think he'd be out there long because he was leaving his pitches up. Lo and behold, he's here in the 7th.
Having thrown 80 pitches. Here's his bio, 37 years old. This is his first major league start. He was an outfielder with Houston. There's a shot deep left field, and Gaddis puts the Braves in front.
He's had better swings against him today than anybody. Sharp single in the second inning. Deep fly ball to right his next time up. He's been hanging out over the plate, daring him to pitch inside. And they tried to throw a slider down and in, and that was where he was earlier in the game. He wasn't getting the ball down. Goodbye.
First homer for Gaddis in over a month. Remember the All-Star break and a DL stint cost Evans some time, but nonetheless his 17th home run gives the Braves the only run of this game. A pop up for Chris Johnson, first base side, and no play.
That had to feel good for the reasons you just outlined, and because it took just a millisecond to get out of here.
Sometimes in this game it's not how well you pitch, but when you pitch, and sometimes for whom you pitch. Lane's pitching the game of his life, but pitching for a Padres club that has very bad offensive luck and has been shut out 15 times already this year.
Evan hanging out, waiting on it, timed it perfectly. I don't care what happens, and I would hope that Buddy Black feels the same way. Naturally, they want to win, but Jason Lane's pitched great. Maybe beyond their wildest beliefs that he could pitch this well. So the fact they called him up to take Ian Kennedy's place, Ian Kennedy couldn't have pitched any better than this, is a real plus, and Jason Lane ought to feel very good about himself.
That's outside. A rare full count.
First 3-ball count of the day by either pitcher, and we're in the 7th.
Sprayed to the right and out of play by Chris Johnson. So Santana's got his run. He's due 4th in the inning. Braves bullpen is working. Chris doing what he does prolongs the at bat, and that'll bring Rondal to the mound.
Jordan Walden's been outstanding, but I don't know who's been better than Irvin Santana lately, the way he's pitched today. And he's really kept his pitch count down.
To right field, Johnson earned that knock. So back-to-back hits for the Braves here in the 7th. Wonder how long a leash Jason Lane will have. Down a run now, and we might have our answer. Ian Kennedy couldn't go today. Jason Lane was called up today, and every single one of his Padres teammates will meet him on the mound and hopefully give him a big pat on the back. Will he stay or will he go? He will go. His first major league start was certainly memorable. He was mesmerizing through the first 6. But Evan Gattis has hit a solo homer, and that's all the offense Atlanta's needed so far.
High ball, Evan Gattis breaking the scoreless tie for the Braves, and talking to him before the game, he was saying he came in here feeling pretty confident. Didn't play yesterday, but on Saturday reached in all 4 plate appearances, started his night off with a double, and he had snapped an 0 for 11 stretch at the plate coming into that. And he just said he always felt like his strength was there. He was swinging hard, but maybe just a little timing was off. Sure looked right on that ball.
You're right, Jen. When he left, he was the team leader in home runs. Now he's 1 behind Justin Upton. But an encouraging end of the homestand for Gattis, and we could use a few more pops from him on the road trip. But the Braves will leave after today's game. Some unfinished business, though. Nick Vincent, now the new pitcher the Braves will face in the home 7th.
Very good walk to strikeout ratio over his 30 innings. This is his 34th game. We saw him earlier in the series. Tons of cutters from this guy, too. Fastball in the high 80s, low 90s.
Simmons, then Santana. DeCenzo's going through the signs in the third base coaching box. Chris Johnson with the lead at first.
Again, Anderson's been very impatient at the plate against Lane. Did take a ball there from Vincent. Padres thinking maybe something was on. Threw over to hold Chris close.
Good slider.
Yeah, it was a good breaking ball. Actually a cutter.
Popped up into the seats. A ball and 2 strikes.
Vincent worked an inning in game 2. Game the Braves won 5-3. He worked the 8th inning and gave up a hit, but struck out 2 batters. He struck out B.J. Upton and Jordan Schaefer, who was pinch hitting.
Line drive center field. That's going to get down in front of Venable. Took a funny spin, but no further advance. Simmons has a hit. 3 straight Braves have reached via a base hit. Now a chance for a big inning. Let's see if Santana can lay down a bunt.
Looked like a hanger to Andrelton. Left it letter high.
Earlier in the game, with Jason Lane pitching, Santana stood all the way in the very front of the right-hand batter's box. I'm guessing that won't be the case here in the 7th. Vincent throws a lot harder, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe so, but if you're bunting, it's a good idea to get out in front of the plate, because if you kind of bunt it straight down into the ground, it's a fair ball.
Yep, you know what? He is up there.
Yeah. And he's put down 4 sacrifices.
Right back to the pitcher, who has only 1 play. A thing of beauty.
Nice. Done a good day for the Magic Man. He's done everything right. Kept the bat right there, caught the baseball with the bat, softened it. No play anywhere but the first. Our Home Depot tools from the dugout. Great demonstration there by Irvin. How that bat gives after he just let the ball hit the bat. Didn't punch at it. Great camera work there.
The infield in for San Diego. Runners second and third. One out for Jordan Schaefer.
Good patience by Jordan. That was a borderline pitch he could have gone after, but if you're sitting on the cutter, once in a while the right-handers will throw a backdoor pitch that's a cutter that try to catch the outside corner, but most of the time they want to try to run it in on your hands. Start a pitch on the inner third of the plate that then saws you off, especially with the infield in. Maybe he's looking for something in.
He's a pitch away from loading the bases. And he just did. Ball 4 outside. Loads him up. And now the Padres will see Gosselin be taken down for Tommy La Stella. Here's where Tommy's done great work for the Braves this year. Tommy La Stella's first big league season. But you wouldn't know it by looking at his numbers with the bases loaded. I mean, they're just crazy good.
6 for 7 with the bases loaded. 13 RBIs.
Darren Balsley's the pitching coach for the Padres. He's out to talk to Vincent. And Torres up in the bullpen. Let's see how the Padres manage this situation. It'll be Vincent versus La Stella. So, Jen, here's an area where the Braves hope to improve in the second half. Pinch hitting.
Yeah, and Tommy La Stella could be the guy to do that for them. I couldn't believe it looking at the numbers. If you look at the lowest batting average by pinch hitters in the month of July, the Braves are second worst behind only the Nationals, which is really just kind of odd. But they only have 2 pinch hit in the month of July. Let's see if Tommy maybe can change that.
Be a good time for it.
The lead is 1. Some insurance would be nice. And the other thing that makes La Stella so tough, plate discipline. Does not strike out too often.
Got a good eye. Really for him, no different than when Schaefer was up there. That cutter, if he does run it in on him, be ready for it. Especially ahead in the count. Got a good one to hit there.
The wind is absolutely blowing at gale force toward right. If La Stella could lift and separate here, he could take the Grand Tour. Up and in. Now Vincent has to throw a strike.
That was a cutter that he was trying to make sure that he got in on him, but he left it up and out of the zone. Almost like he tried to overthrow it. Got under it. Make sure you shrink your strike zone here. Whatever you like best, enter third, down, only look there.
Sharply hit to short. Second for one, and first a double play. Vincent fell behind, 3 balls and a strike, and got a hard hit double play ball off the bat of Tommy La Stella. The Braves settle for one. Gaddis's homer the difference in Game 4 at home. A homer today. Irvin Santana's pitching a gem as Atlanta tries to wrap up this homestand in the win column. We invite you to buy a Pay It Forward ticket pack and help support Children's Health Care of Atlanta. Each Pay It Forward package includes a game ticket, a Braves sweatshirt blanket, and a $5 donation to Children's Health Care of Atlanta. Enjoy a day at the ballpark and know that you've helped support children in the process. Go to Braves.com. Pay it forward now. Campers are having a good time today. Let's see if they are our fan photos of the game. We promised you that earlier today. Tweet your photo to #SouthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T.
How about that? Bobby's grandkids from Torrey Cox. Well done.
Chris Denorfia will bat for Vincent and lead off the San Diego 8th. Stella stays in the game to play second. Outside corner. Denorfia grumbles, but that's been called all day, Chris.
Sure has. It's been called because the rare exception, it's been right there.
To short. Simmons, one hopper, and a strike to first. Bears out number 1. We head west, we old men, in the broadcast booth for a long road trip against the Dodgers, Padres, and the Seattle Mariners. Hope to join us tomorrow night. Braves live at 9:30 Eastern time. Then Game 1 gets underway with Josh Beckett going to the mound for Los Angeles. Braves will, in front of the notes here, send Aaron Harang to the hill.
I'm looking forward to it.
Amarista pops up the first pitch. 2 outs.
And while no hitter wants to or think of it as a nice day and a fun day to go against that pitching staff of the Dodgers, it presents a challenge that you welcome also. Bring it on. Let's see how good you are. This was the pop-up. Evan Gattis shading his eyes trying to find it. Oh. Way to go, Andrelton.
Solarte's the hitter. And too tight. 1 ball, no strikes. Boy, 1 more strikeout would be awesome for Irvin. It would be a new career high. He's tied his mark with 11. Oh. Gattis wants a new ball, but Angel Hernandez says, I got this one, son. And that's why.
Right in the nose. Somewhere Greg Maddux is laughing.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Angel went out to Santana and said, I'm glad that wasn't me.
Mm-hmm. Had to go to a second row today.
Popped him up. Had him off stride. Simmons and Johnson. Andrelton's under it. He's got it. Irvin Santana, 8 magnificent innings. Another 9-pitch inning for the Magic Man. He's thrown 102 pitches in total. He ties his career high in strikeouts, and he leads 1-0. They've got the heart of the order coming up. For a limited time only, get the Weezer Concert Combo Pack for Tuesday, August 12th. It includes an outfield seat, Weezer Concert t-shirt, and a field pass to watch the show from the field for just $40. Take advantage of this great deal now. Visit Braves.com/Weezer. Back to our AT&T trivia question. Greg Maddox's winning percentage is the best for any Braves starting pitcher since 1914. Who's second?
I need another pitch or two. As Dale Thayer comes in. I've tried to think of somebody that would throw me off of Warren Spahn, but I can't. So I guess I'm going to stick with Spahn.
Okay, I'll go with Johnny Sane, because Spahn and Sane pray for rain. See if we've got it covered up in the booth. And Whenever they give us the answer fast, we're usually wrong, and you said it too.
So angry. He's going to be so mad. I mean, it's the Hall of Fame weekend. I mean, how dumb are we? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, how dumb are we?
How dumb am I? You know the answer to that. You've been sitting here for a long time with me. Tom Glavine.
Dang it. Then Millwood and Hudson before we get to Spahn. Let me see if Sane's on here. Yep, 19th. Way to go.
That's remarkable that those two modern pitchers are the top two winningest as far as win percentage goes in the oldest continually operating franchise in Major League Baseball. Think about the men who've pitched here, and Boston and Milwaukee. And of course, that dates since 1914, but still 100 years.
Well, a curious thing is that I heard some rumors about Cooperstown and the fact that there were some golf balls being circulated around that said Tom Glavine, HOF, 203 losses. I don't think it said anything about the wins.
What kind of golfer is Tommy? Is he any good?
Yeah.
Is he?
Golf.
So
Yep.
he didn't like spray a full 3 sleeves or something on the golf course, you think?
No, this was, I think, somebody's effort to keep him from getting the big hit.
I mean, that's the kind of golf ball. If you lose it, ain't no 5-minute rule. You're hunting for that baby for an hour.
You know anybody else seeing that one?
Ain't nobody gonna find that but you. This man might be an attractive trade chip for the Padres. Thayer throws hard. He's not a closer. He's not a really 8th inning guy. But 6th, 7th inning, he might help some contending clubs.
I agree. Hard to pick up. I said about him the other night that it looks like he's throwing harder than he is. He's got some chops and Fu Manchu working in honor of Goose Gossage.
$23,281 patrons played hooky today.
And a lot of them were moonwalking back up into the shade today. I don't blame them. Because after all, it's 86.
Yeah, in Ottawa. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Chan did go to the weather finder thing that says it feels like 92. So,
yeah,
as Pete would say, then why isn't it 92?
In a career filled with many great lines, that was one of Pete's best. Love saying it every time this guy pitches for the Padres. Dale Thayer's from Murrieta. Murrieta, California. Padres have a lot of guys from the Golden State on their roster. They draft and develop heavily from their home state, much like the Braves do in Georgia.
Yeah, his is spelled Murrieta.
They have the big avocado, not the big chicken. And Upton takes inside, ball 4. He's aboard with 1 out. And Ryan Domit is the hitter. Remember, Jason Hayward started this game. Jason got 1 at bat, left after 3 innings with lower back soreness. There was a second update that said Jason will be evaluated later, but his status for the moment is day to day.
Between innings, we saw Irvin Santana getting a lot of high fives too, and some hugs for his work today, so it appears that he's done. Craig Kimbrell up in the bullpen has been loosening up, and if that is the case, what a great 8 innings by Santana today on the heels of his last start where he struck out 10.
He was 10% better in that department today. A career high tying 11, allowed 5 hits and no walks, and Chan still no 3-ball counts, right? Not a single 3-ball count in his 8 innings of work. Right there, a strike. Out of play, foul. It's 2-2. Domit faces a 3-2 pitch. Runner goes, ground ball right side, diving stop, beautiful play, race to the first base bag. Wow, Alonso made an awesome play to rob Domit of a hit.
As many problems as they've had at first base in this series with some ground balls hit to them, this was a beauty. Saved a base hit. And a foot race won by the Padres first baseman. And that was going to get through.
See if Gaddis can provide a 2-out hit and bring home Justin. His run, the only run Atlanta's needed today. It was a solo home run leading off the 7th off Jason Lane.
But this angle from our RoboCam on the screen, you get to see the base runner, see home plate, fly to the pitch.
Into right field, there's a base hit. Here comes Upton around third. Smith will have no play. Gaddis has knocked in both Atlanta runs.
Whole Evan knew where that one was going. Fought off a fastball, might not have even been a strike. Served it into right field. Beauty.
Line drive to short. Retires Chris Johnson, but the Braves cash in a 1-out walk to Justin Upton. Evan Gaddis brought him home with a hit to right, and Craig Kimbrell will come on for Atlanta. He'll try to end the homestand on a winning note for the Braves and save this ball game for Irvin Santana, who's 3 outs away from his 10th victory of the season. Here comes Craig Kimbrell. We go to the 9th inning. The Braves up 2-0. Plenty of smiles in the Braves dugout today. Atlanta's played a complete game. No, they haven't lit up the scoreboard, Joe, but timely hitting, outstanding starting pitching, outstanding defense, and now how about some outstanding relief work from Craig Kimbrell to put this one to bed today.
As good an outing as he's had all year long. A couple of days ago against the Padres, there are his season numbers. But he faced Denorfia, Amarista, and Solarte a couple of days ago. Struck out all three of them swinging, and he was on. He was dealing.
So Kimbrell will face Seth Smith, Yasmani Grandal, and Tommy Medica in the Padres ninth. San Diego has been shut out 15 times this year. They're down 2-0 today.
That was hot queso right there.
A little more.
Dennis Eckersley would say that's some hot cheese right there. And then he'd be asking for some gas, which after a lot of cheese.
You've been talking to Maddox too much. Smith down on strikes. And Craig Kimbrell off to a flying start in the ninth inning.
I'll say. Two good fastballs and then the slider.
Grandal has a couple of strikeouts and a fourth inning single. Padres got exactly one man in scoring position today. It was this guy in the fourth.
They had 5 hits, but they were bunched into 3 innings and actually had something cooking against Santana in the 7th with 2 1-out singles. One of those, however, was a great play by Justin Upton when he threw out Alonso trying to stretch it into a double.
Kimbrell can do what he wishes here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he wished to strike Grandal out, and he just did. 2 up, 2 down.
How about the fact that he's faced 5 Padres hitters in this series and nobody's put the ball in play?
One more to get for the Braves to post the first score in the East. Washington plays in Miami in about 4 hours. Tommy Medica stands in the way and looks low. Ball 1. With the win today, the Braves will be a game out of first. And there'll be Nate Eovaldi fans as he faces Jordan Zimmerman at Marlins Park later on tonight. 1 ball, no strikes. Perfect pitch. Same spot, same result.
Well, you know, from sitting up here when Evan Gattis, you can't even see the glove when he sets up, when he puts a glove in front of him, and then when you still can't see it after the pitch is delivered, you know that hit the target.
Ball game. Kimbrel struck out the side of the ninth. A 99-mile-an-hour fastball ends the game, and the Braves struck out 14 Padres over 9 innings, shut them out for the 16th time, and Irvin Santana in double digits for Atlanta in wins. He's now 10-6 on the season. As from stem to stern, Joe, the Braves played one of their really good ball games in 2014.
Absolutely. Got a long ball and another RBI from Gattis. Good defense in the outfield, good defense in the infield, outstanding pitching.
Braves a win, 2-0 your final score. Back to recap it for you from Turner Field after this.